we're back. We are the Wrestling Boys. I am Logan.
I'm Goose.
And we have been gone for
a while.
Quite some time, but we're finally back. For those who don't know, this is actually how we had originally done Wrestling Boys all those years ago. But then it went to just audio only. And now we're back to doing video. And the reason we hadn't recorded so long is it was another semester of school. We're all busy with a family and
all kinds
work.
of stuff going on.
But yeah, so we're finally back. And now you get to see our lovely faces.
Beautiful faces. But we do not have a December pay-per-view, which means the last pay-per-view we got to
see this year was Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
War Games.
Yeah, they didn't have the traditional 5-on-5 elimination match.
I thought was bizarre. How do you have a show called Survivor Series and not have a Survivor Series match? So instead of having the women's and the men's 5-on-5 match, instead they just did two different War Games matches, which is fine with me. I just thought it was odd to not have a Survivor Series match.
Yeah, I think this is what happens when both tag belts and both heavyweight championship belts are held by the same people. You don't have the Raw versus Smackdown thing that we've had in the last several years. So
yeah, because they were always going on the fight for brand supremacy, and so you'd have the WWE and Universal Champion face off, and the different tag team champions face off. And now both of those are all held by Roman Reigns and the Usos, so you can't do those matches.
Yeah, so, but it was actually, I mean, to do the switch over to a 5-on-5 War Games match was actually a good idea.
Yeah, I really liked it, but it left me confused going in. So I was like, I know they're going to be doing a War Games, but in keeping with Survivor Series, are they going to have to do like then elimination style in the War Games match? But that would probably just make the match ridiculously long.
Yeah, and so
because not only are you already at like 30 minutes by the time all men get in there and the War Games begin, but then you also have to eliminate all like 9 people until you have the sole survivor. So it makes sense that they didn't do that, or else we would have to sit through 2-hour-plus long War Games matches. Which, as much as we love War Games.
Yeah,
I think everyone did that.
I think it was done the best. It was. I mean, this is a great Triple H kind of move here. Since he's taken over, we've actually have gotten wrestling the way we've been wanting wrestling. We had, I think we had during Survivor Series we had fewer matches, but they were longer and they were of higher quality. I mean, I know a lot of people kind of crapped on the Smackdown women's title match between Shotzi and Ronda. But even then, I thought it was actually a pretty good match, especially for a mid-card match. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like the matches we've had in the past with, Ronda and Charlotte, or even with Liv. But still, Shotzi was able to show what it is she can do, and they had a spectacular moment where she dove off the barrier into the crowd and knocked Shayna and Ronda into like 3 guys sitting in these chairs.
Wait, what's left me wondering, it's like, so I think WWE does plant people in the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
If they're ever planning on doing a spot like that where, you threw such and such wrestler into the crowd.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to throw it on 3 random ticket holders. And that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Well, you and I were joking about it because they have to be plants because you can't put like a dad and his 9-year-old son sitting there going, "Oh, look, Dad, they're right next to us." Ah! There's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Exactly.
but overall, it was pretty good. And I was very, very satisfied with the overall show. I mean, we had a great match between AJ and Finn, which I think was actually the match of the night.
I'd say the match of the night either goes to the triple threat.
The triple threat match was really good.
With Rollins, Lashley, and Theory, or the the men's War Games match.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like you got AJ Styles, Finn Balor, two of the best wrestlers, not just in WWE, but in the entire world.
Yeah, the entire world.
Going against each other. What more can you expect than a great match?
It was just overall really good. I mean, I like pay-per-views where every match on the card, even the mid card matches, can be almost considered a main event in any other capacity. Just to watch those two men wrestle against each other was like watching a clinic between two of the best. And then you brought up the triple threat match with Bobby, Seth, and Austin Theory, which was really good. And I mean, even the ending was like, oh my gosh, that was an ending that we can get behind. We don't. I don't think I have seen in a while. I don't think since Triple H took over, I haven't seen the most devastating maneuver in wrestling.
Oh, the small package.
The small package roll up. Yep, we haven't really seen that, and so I think he's really trying to give
variety,
the audience something that they can really be satisfied with. And the writing has been spot on. I like the idea of just the night before, the fact that KO would come to Sami Zayn and you have Jey Uso on the other side of the door listening in, and Sami's going to turn on us, and Sami was talking to KO and how Roman brings him in and says, "Hey, were you talking to KO?" And he goes, "Yeah, but KO was actually talking to me. And why'd you lie to Jay?" Well, here's why. It's really, really, it's been the best stuff for Sami Zayn in quite a while. I'm so happy that they gave him something to really sink his teeth into. I mean, it was for so long he was in writing hell. I mean, creative hell.
I still remember when he had that feud with Bobby Lashley a few years ago. When I think they had the Lashley sisters.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
And that one army boot camp thing they did, which it was abysmal. So it's really nice seeing that this extremely gifted performer finally has something, say, worthwhile.
Yeah,
to do.
And it looks like and I like the direction they're going with Austin Theory. They're trying to bring him in. I mean, with Vince, it
reminded me of Roman Reigns back in 2014, 15, where this guy is not getting over organically with the audience, but he's like Vince's golden child. Yeah. So it's like he's winning all these matches, yet nobody's high on him.
Yeah.
But now that it's not like Theory being shoved down our throats all the time, like it was when Vince was still in charge. Now it's not so hostile towards.
It's like they're bringing him in slowly. It's like they're like, yeah, we're going to give him a push, but we're not going to just shove him out there in front of you and say, hey, this is what we're going to do with him. I think this is the biggest difference between what has happened between Vince and now with Triple H. Is that Triple H, I think, is taking a more slow baked approach to
slow burn
approach. It works with Austin Theory because we're not big fans of his, but you got to give him credit for how he's been performing, and they're not giving him this creative that makes him seem like they're trying to make him the biggest douche on the planet. You know what I'm saying? We'll see where it goes. I like where it's going for now, and the ending of that triple threat match was
really good.
Well done.
I'm not, as I said, I'm pretty sure most people aren't the biggest fans of Austin Theory. At least at this point. We'll see what happens. He's not the golden child anymore. But if you haven't seen Survivor Series, the match ending was crazy. So it was Seth Rollins was doing his trademark I think it was the superplex
It
and
was
the
a
Falcon
superplex,
Arrow.
the Falcon Arrow.
And as he lifted Theory up for the Falcon Arrow, Lashley went for a spear. And of course, Seth fell. And Theory took the opportunity to cover Seth, get the 3 count.
Right.
New U.S. champion.
And it was interesting because the spear looked weird.
Very weak. Like, you pointed out how when he went for the spear, he only, like, grazed him with his shoulder. So it looked more like he was going for some type of...
Like a roll-up, almost.
Yeah.
Like it was like he was going for a spear, but he more or less whipped his arm out there. And I think that was done on purpose because if he'd hit him with let's just do the logistics here. If Lashley had hit that spear with Rollins having Theory up in the air the way he did, it would have been like bad for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of modified to the point where it's like, I'm going to spear you, but I'm not going to like hit you full on. I'm going to grab you, and it's going to look kind of funky like a roll up, and you're just going to fall over and it worked. It was really, I mean, even Cole was like a spear, and
spear.
Even though we're sitting here going, that looked like a
very, very weak spear.
but I like what they're how it was overall the match that like I said, I love all the matches were really good. I mean, and what's interesting is now we don't have a December, I'm going to say it, pay-per-view.
Which left me wondering what they're going to do with TLC, because for the longest time that was their December pay-per-view every year, but now TLC, I guess, has gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll do what they did with Hell in a Cell. That was for the longest time their October pay-per-view, and then they put it in, was it July?
Something like that, yeah.
This year, which I thought was bizarre because I thought Hell in a Cell, Halloween, October made sense, but then they moved it.
Well, if you think about it, what's interesting is the fact that they have Extreme Rules, I think, in October. And then to do TLC in December, I mean, you're having 2 extreme kind of pay-per-views almost back-to-back.
So I think they're getting rid of TLC so the TLC matches can happen on other pay-per-views.
On other pay-per-views, yeah, probably like in Hell in a Cell or Extreme Rules. But this is actually a good thing because they didn't have one last year. They didn't have a December pay-per-view last year. We were able to sit back and breathe. They did do, and I haven't seen it this year, but they did have a New Year's Day pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was day one.
Day one, and that was a nice little pay-per-view, I think, just to kind of ring in the new year. But they have not even talked about any kind of pay-per-view between Survivor Series and Royal Rumble.
Which I think is nice because for the longest time it was WWE was having a pay-per-view every few weeks.
It's like every 4 to 6 weeks.
So it doesn't give you time to really build up a storyline to where you really need to see this climactic match.
Well, think about it, because what had been happening, and I think this was happening for quite a while, was the fact that you would see the same matches for 3 pay-per-views. It would be the same 2 people, and it was like, okay, well, I mean, they split it, so let's see who wins the series. And it's like, with this, it's like you go from the one, you take a breather, you're building this up for about 8 weeks into, Royal Rumble, which I love because now people are already starting to declare for the Royal Rumble, which I'm going to have my predictions for you at the other side of the break. But it was actually, I think it's great. I think we get this nice breather, and we get an idea of, okay, because they're going to be, we're going to be kind of curious about who's going to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, and who's going to face the Usos at the Royal Rumble, and this ought to be interesting. It ought to be good. It ought to be fun. But overall, would you think of what kind of grade would you give Survivor Series?
Give Survivor Series War Games. I'd say B or B plus.
Yeah, I would agree. At least a B plus.
Most of the matches were great. As we were talking about, the Shotzi Ronda match was
it was good.
Rocky.
It was good.
There were a couple moments where it was a bit sloppy.
A little sloppy.
I think the main moment that stuck out to me was Shotzi went for the DDT on the mat, and Ronda's head didn't even hit the mat, so just
you kind of flopped right out to the outside of the ring, which I almost kind of blame Ronda for that because it just seemed like she just either she wasn't in position or what, but you don't want to be sitting there for 30 seconds trying to get into the right position for this because then you just leave Cole and Corey hanging for trying to cover for whatever is going on. So I think that they did the best that they could with what was going on. But all right, so we were talking about Royal Rumble. On the other side of this, we're going to give some of our predictions for the Royal Rumble right after this break.
Overture, curtain lights, this is it, the night of nights. No more rehearsing and nursing apart. We know every card by heart. Overture, curtain lights, this is it. We'll hit the heights, and oh, what heights we'll hit. On with the show, this is it.
I am Goose.
I am Logan.
We are Travel by Nature. That being said, I'm Goose.
I am Logan.
This is Travel by Nature. Thank you for watching.
Tired, I'm sore, and I just want to go to bed.
And you can do that after you take a shower.
I can take a shower in the morning.
No, you can take one now.
I don't even smell that bad.
Oh, really? You smell like a combination of body odor and butt crack, and I'm not sleeping next to that. Once in a while.
As tempting as all that sounds, I'd rather go to bed. Honey, what's wrong? Half the crew is at the bar. At least I'm here.
That's just it. Even when you're here, you're not. You're either too tired or too preoccupied.
All right, we're back after the break, and we have some Royal Rumble predictions to make. I'm going to give my top 3 returns for the Royal Rumble, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 picks for the Royal Rumble winners. So my for the first person that I think will make a big return is Big E.
Really?
I think he'll. I think he. I don't. We don't. I don't know what the status of his injury is, and nothing has been said yet as far as his retirement. Has he retired?
No, I don't think he's retired, but
I mean,
I can't remember exactly how long they said he was going to be out.
Going to be out
after he had landed and broke his neck.
Broke his neck. Yeah. The reason I think he will be. I think he'll come back. He's been out for a while. Neck injuries do kind of heal pretty quickly. You know, if you don't believe me, just ask Tommy Dreamer, who broke his neck in 2 places and wrestled.
Tommy Dreamer's crazy.
Yeah, he's a crazy guy. But I believe that this was kind of a wake up call for Big E. I think he wants to make a return back to the ring just to get that pop, and to see his New Day brothers one more time. I think he'll be possibly further down the numbers.
Well, that's because that's when like the returns are more
prominent.
Like John Cena entering at number 30.
Yeah.
Nobody expected, and that's why it's such an iconic moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to do with Big E. They're going to be like, it's a New Day, yes it is, or whatever.
It's a New Day, yes it is. And all of a sudden, I mean, and you could see probably Kofi and Xavier already in the ring, like, turn around, like in shock, and like, oh my gosh, he's here, Big E's back, and even if it's just for this one time, I think that, I mean, obviously they're going to modify his moveset. I don't think he's going to go for that dive out of the ring anymore.
No.
But I think that I would love to see him back. I think he's one of these guys that we all want to see him come back. We all want to see him make this return. And I think this would be the proper return for him to come back. Number 2 is obvious. It's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is going to be...
Yeah, after that terrible, what was it,
pectoral tear
he had suffered, which led to that excellent Hell in a Cell match, because, I mean, even without the injury, it would have been great, but that just added so much more drama that it's definitely our match of the year. Close contender would be Walter and Sheamus.
Yeah.
But, anyway, Cody Rhodes, yeah, that would definitely be another return.
Number 1, and this is my pick, and I don't know if this will happen. I think it would be great if it did happen. I think it would just, and again, this would be a return where he could come in, do his thing, and be able to leave, and that is The Undertaker.
The Undertaker? Really?
I think The Undertaker makes I think he comes in, he gets the loud pop, he comes in, he eliminates a couple. It's kind of like Kane. Kane shows up, eliminates 2 or 3 guys, and then he gets knocked. I think the same thing. I think that he will be eliminated by kind of almost like a passing of the torch. He's still in good shape. He would probably be able to come in for about 10 minutes. And then he would get eliminated, and
The only reason I think they wouldn't go for that is I think the Boneyard match left his career on such a high note.
That is true.
On such a high note that I don't want them to screw with that at all.
But that's the thing about the Royal Rumble, is the fact that the Royal Rumble, you can come in and you can make a big return, and and be able to perform pretty well. I mean, just so long as he's not wrestling Goldberg, we're okay. I mean, but I think that he would be able to, again, he could come in. I'm going to say, if you sit there, who's coming in at number 19? And all of a sudden, bong, and everybody just goes nuts.
Oh my God!
It can't be. And I think that Triple H really wants to establish himself with a Royal Rumble that people are going to remember.
Unlike last year's, which was 2 disappointments.
Yeah, but let's see where it goes. For the women, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is going to, she's been out since, how long she's been out? For almost,
I can't.
she's been out for at least 4 months, from what I remember. I mean, you know, she had that last match with Ronda to get the title. And that was, you know, yeah, I mean, she's been out for at least 4 months. She's been doing the married thing with Andrade. So, I mean, this would be absolutely perfect for her to make her big return. The other one would be Sasha Banks, who we have not seen in months since
Well, it's
they
because there
retired.
was such a, I don't know what, sour
Note.
relationship
Yeah.
after what happened with her and Naomi, like quitting. So hopefully, yeah, they'll restore amends, and we'll get a great return from Sasha Banks.
And of course, the other one would be Naomi. You know, all three have been out for a while. I think they're all still in really good shape. They would all get huge pops. They're wrestlers that everybody still remembers, and so. But and then going in, I think my top 5 of winning the Royal Rumble for the women, I like Nikki Cross. I know she won Money in the Bank. Now that she's returned to her
The Twisted Sister
Sister gimmick,
instead of the superhero thing she was doing for a while.
this one works a lot better for her. This one works really well for her. Then you have, I think, I'm not totally convinced that Mandy Rose is gone.
Oh, yeah, because that was another big thing that happened where she was released from WWE because of her OnlyFans page.
I think they're going
Which I think the main reason behind that was because you're working for a PG-rated company, and that doesn't exactly correlate to selling adult pictures.
That's kind of true. Yeah, I understand that. I still think that Mandy Rose makes an appearance, and I think she possibly wins the Royal Rumble. Becky Lynch is obviously one that's up there winning the Royal Rumble.
One I would want to see is Shayna Baszler, but they have wasted her so much that I don't.
She's actually my second
Yeah.
pick. I think she's number 2 of who I think will win the Royal Rumble. And it would be obvious that Shayna wins the Royal Rumble and faces Bianca Belair, so that her and Ronda could both have the belts, and like they did last, with Sasha and Bayley, But my number 1 pick to win the Women's Royal Rumble, Charlotte Flair. Seriously. I think Charlotte Flair.
She's gonna make a return and win.
And win.
Okay, I guess, but the thing is, she's already won one of the Women's Royal, and I know there's been multi-time Royal Rumble winners in the past, but I
think the reason
I'm not a very big Charlotte Flair fan.
No, I understand that. I mean, but you look at WrestleMania, and you look at Charlotte versus Ronda, and you look at that card, and you go, yeah, that'll sell tickets. That will sell tickets. That will sell tickets to be your main event for night 1. Charlotte versus Ronda. There you go. And you could obviously go the other way around. Excuse me. And if Shayna wins, that it's going to be, Shayna versus Bianca, for night 1. And that would be a great main event too. I agree with you. I think Shayna Baszler has been kind of
Underutilized?
Underutilized is the best thing. I'm not totally happy and convinced with her being Ronda's
crony.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. And I'm almost wondering if they're eventually going to do a WrestleMania 3 setup to where it's to be like, hey, Shayna turns on Ronda and say, hey, how come you never gave me a shot at the title? And it would be kind of like, okay, and then who becomes the heel and who becomes the face, which will be interesting. But, I mean, Shayna Baszler has been highly underused. And for someone who dominated NXT for as long as she did, I think it's a shame that she hasn't really been given a proper
proper push.
And I think Triple H really wants to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Charlotte's the name. Ronda's the name. You want
You want to sell tickets.
to sell tickets for WrestleMania. You know, that's your. And since you're doing it to a 2-night event, and your women's are going to be the main event for the first night, you need the
name.
You need the match.
Mm-hmm.
You need the match, and the match is Charlotte versus Ronda.
One thing I was thinking of is another thing they always do in Royal Rumbles is the legends returning.
Oh, okay.
Like you were saying, the Undertaker. So I was wondering, are there any others you would like to see?
I don't know. I mean, they've been lately doing the legends few and far between. They've only been doing, I think, maybe a couple a year. I mean, I know they brought Jeff Jarrett back that one time, and it was like
Odd.
really odd. I mean, I think only because I'm not sure how the crowd would react to like Hulk Hogan coming down the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd be kind of like, what's he doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I think Hulk is in his. I
think Hulk's
in his 60s or
completely retired.
I think he's
so.
completely retired. I mean, you know, he's had enough back surgeries that they're kind of like, you know, I don't think I'm going to do the leg drop anymore. The only legend I can see possibly coming back for the Royal Rumble, and I think this would be, again, this is something that's been rumored for WrestleMania, is The Rock.
That's what I was thinking of.
The question is, you know, the question then becomes, though, does Dwayne really want to take time away from his
movies to go back to wrestling?
Yeah, it's like, you know, because I mean, whoever wins the Royal Rumble, I mean, honestly, God, you're basically giving up 4 months of your life or 3 months of your life from the beginning of February to the middle or to the beginning of April to basically promote your match. And so it's like, okay, does Dwayne have the time available to be able to do that? Because he's been absolutely busy. You know,
I mean, isn't he the highest paid actor
yeah,
in the world?
yeah, he's like the highest paid actor in the world. I mean, you know, and he just came off of doing Black Adam, so it's like, you know, I could see him doing it because it would be the one huge pop that everybody wants to have.
I don't know, just imagine who's number
Yeah.
25 or some other number. So if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
And I mean, you know, last year's WrestleMania, Stone Cold came out of retirement to have a match with Kevin Owens, and you know, it ended that first night show, and everybody loved it, and he was glad to be back, and they made great, you know, made great pains to be able to keep him from being hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, and Stone Cold, he's been more than, what's the word I'm looking for? He's been more open to be like, no, I'm not, you know, I don't want to be a full-time wrestler anymore. I love what I'm doing now with the podcast. You know, the Stone Cold sessions. And it's like, you know,
The Broken Skull session.
Broken Skull sessions. But yeah, the only legend I can see coming back would be The Rock, and you know, and I'm sure we'll be surprised. I'm sure like the Hurricane will make an appearance. You know, he does that sometimes. It's like every year we were talking about the women. Molly Holly shows up. You know,
What, Trish Stratus?
Trish Stratus, you know, they all make their appearance, and it's all either set up something for WrestleMania or to kind of, you know. But we'll see how it works out. I don't know of any other legends that your Triple H has in his back pocket. I don't think that guys like, you know, Shawn Michaels is gonna
No.
going to make a return. I don't think someone like I mean, we all know right now Randy Orton's on the shelf. He just had back surgery.
So he's not going to be back in time for Royal Rumble.
He's not going to be anytime. And John Cena, I think, is the only other guy that possibly could make a return. But he's super busy with his Hollywood career. So we'll see how it goes. But let me give you my 5 picks for the winner of the Men's Rumble really quick before we get out of here. Number 5 is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that's another one I've wanted to see win the Rumble too.
I think it sets up again him versus Roman. It's a match we've wanted to see again. When we saw it the first time, they got a good storyline with him not being like a hothead. And it's just, I think he's at that point in his career where it's like you would sit there and go, okay, yeah, Bobby Lashley winning the Royal Rumble would be like Drew McIntyre when he won the Rumble. And
one thing I think they could do if they do end up winning, or they do have Bobby Lashley win the Royal Rumble, is could bring back the Hurt Business, because that was woefully underused. It was not around as long as it should have been. They should bring that back and then have the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline feud going on until WrestleMania when you have Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns.
And I think that would, which brings up another guy I think would win it would be AJ Styles. Because I think he's also one of these guys I think is long overdue to win one. And he's well respected. He has the Good Brothers back. I think it would fill seats because people
everybody loves AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. I mean, heel, face, they love AJ Styles. They love his work. They've faced each other before, and it was a great match. And I think that, again, the idea that Roman would be able to kind of like discount AJ Styles, like, oh, you can't beat me. I'm on another level. You're just AJ Styles.
Hey, man. How's it going, man? Hey, sorry I missed the funeral. I couldn't miss work.
That's alright, I need your help with something.
So what's with the trunk? Who?
I can't believe she gave you the house. I did everything for her. Cooked, cleaned.
And robbed her blind.
I only took what I deserved. She owed it to me.
So why did you call me?
I need your help to get rid of it.
What makes you think I can help?
My grandma was a wonderful person. She used to always tell me, Ellen, all you have is your name, so make it a good one.
What is that?
What does it look like?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Well, maybe we could burn it.
No, and then the fire department will be here in minutes.
I don't know what all the fuss is about. That woman wasn't that pure.
Remember what she told us, Gary. All you have is your name.
Number 3, and I think this is where things can get really interesting. My number 3 pick for the Royal Rumble winner is Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. That's an interesting pick. No disrespect to Sami Zayn, but I just don't see how it would work with with him being part of the bloodline.
But I think, but seriously,
the honorary Oos.
Yeah, but
how that would work then, having to go up against Roman.
Yeah, we see that makes it for a great storyline.
Yeah, then you have because for the longest time you had, I think what was it, Jay, who's doubting Sami Zayn's loyalty. So yeah, you're right. It would lead to, like, Jay was like, "See, I told you all along. This guy was bad news."
Yeah. Sorry, I had to spill a little water here. But yeah, it would make a great, storyline. Sami Zayn is so over right now with the
honorary
Oos with the universe. It would make the idea that he would have to face the head of the table, the tribal chief. He's never. I don't think he's ever had a heavyweight championship match. Not that I can remember. I think
he's not in WWE.
Not in the WWE. I think he's always been stuck in the mid card in WWE. Excuse me. So I think it would be interesting to have him win the Royal Rumble and be like all excited, and then realize, oh my gosh,
I'm going to have to face Roman Reigns.
To win the titles, which
I'm going to have to face the tribal chief.
With, and the idea of that tension for several, maybe even Roman asking him to lose so that he doesn't face him.
So he doesn't betray the bloodline.
And have Kevin Owens like, see, I told you so. See, so that would make great writing. That would make something. I think Sami Zayn's overdue. I think that he's overdue for a championship match. And the idea that him going against the tribal chief for the titles, I think, I know in most cases people are like, wait, this is your main event for night 2, Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns. But if you think about it, honest to God, it'd be a great match. It would be a great match. It would be a great story. And that's what what needs to happen right now. My number 2 is Bray Wyatt, for obvious reasons.
That's the one I would like to see.
For Bray Wyatt. And I think this would be interesting to see him maybe come back as almost as like the Fiend in a way. If you remember, he held the belts until Roman took them off of him. And Bray Wyatt is now back. He's now super over to have Uncle Howdy. And I think the interesting part is that people are starting to talk about the Wyatt Six, and who's going to be part of the Wyatt Six, and to have that go, if you think about it, the Wyatt Six versus the Bloodline, it honest to God works. Bray Wyatt is, he's slowly making his way back on SmackDown, and I think that having Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania really works. Really works. Obviously, we all know who's going to win the Royal Rumble, and it's Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes is going to win the Royal Rumble. This has been a setup for months. Everybody has said it. Everyone's predicted it. We're right in line. Cody Rhodes is going to make his big return. He's going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to face Roman Reigns, and he's going to dethrone Roman Reigns. I'm going to say it right here and right now.
Yeah, because that's for the longest time. It's now everybody Roman's beat. It's kind of limiting who you could see beating Roman Reigns. But after Cody's been on the shelf ever since that excellent match, that he's going to return, he's going to win. And he's going to be the guy to dethrone the tribal chief.
Yeah, he's going to be the one to dethrone the tribal chief. Those are my picks. But we'll see how it works out. We'll see what happens between now and January. What is?
I can't remember what the date is, but it's usually like late January.
Mid-late January. But between now and Royal Rumble, we'll see what happens because it looks like it's going to be a stacked field. I wouldn't even be surprised if Roman Reigns was in the field. If he did like a Brock Lesnar thing, is I'm going in number 1 to prove I can beat everybody. One of those things. And then, of course, he gets knocked in the face by Bobby Lashley and gets shot out there. To just kind of set up something there. But I think it'll be interesting. I think this Royal Rumble, I'm really, really looking forward to. They already have people declaring for the Royal Rumble. The only person I'm going to miss, not going to be there, is R-Truth, who is still badly. He's still injured. I think he tore his quad in a match, and he's like, I really, really wish I could be there. I would be shocked if he showed up.
That's a return I would like to see.
That's a return I'd like to see, but because he's so well loved and by the universe. But those are our picks. Those are my picks. I don't know what you.
Yeah, mine are about the same, especially with Sami Zayn was one I was quite surprised by. But once you said that could lead to a great storyline, but the breakup of the bloodline.
There is one other guy I'm thinking about now that just popped in my head that could return. That could return to Royal Rumble, and it just popped in my head.
And who was that?
Rusev.
Rusev? That reminds me. I was thinking now that Triple H is in charge, I don't think he's, as exclusionary of other wrestling companies. Not like WWE is the only promotion in existence. We can't acknowledge anything else.
I mean, you see, if you think about it, Miro has not done much in AEW. He's kind of been on he's been on a milk carton for quite a while, and I could see. I mean, could you? Honest to God, could you imagine the pop if you hear Rusev? And people just go, and he comes on, and you can just hear the crowd going, Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be great.
I mean,
another one I was thinking of in regards to inter promotional appearances would Chris Jericho. That's one I would love to see. To all of a sudden here. I
would not be surprised if that was the reason why he dropped the title, so that he could go over to Royal Rumble for at least a match. And wear his big old Le Champion shirt. But yeah, I could see that, Chris Jericho. But yeah, I mean, just the idea, and again, they would get huge pops. They would get, people would show, oh my gosh,
it's Chris Jericho, it's Rusev.
They're back, he's back, it's Rusev Day again. And, I mean, I could just see that, because he really hasn't done much in AEW, which is a shame. When he first got there, he was so well used, and then all of a sudden it's like he lost the title, and he is someone. Rusev is someone, and Chris Jericho. I think they both have very good relationships with Triple H, to where they can come in and do something like this. So yeah, I could see, on top of the other three that I have, I could honestly God see, both Rusev and Chris Jericho come in, make an appearance, at least for for anything for at least 5 or 10 minutes, and then get eliminated. But it would certainly stir up those rumors again. So Logan, if they want to check us out anywhere else, where would they go?
If you want to find all the links to our social media, you can find them at withkoji.com/@travelbynature. They can find the links to our other podcasts on with the show, our Twitter pages, our Instagram for Travel by Nature, and we also have a TikTok, and we also have an Ask Me Anything tab and a tip jar, if you're so generous.
Yep. And if they want to help out the channel, what would they do?
You can hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share to your friends.
Yeah, share it out to your friends. Leave us a comment. Makes us smile. But from here at On With The Show Studios here in Bakersfield, California,
I am Logan.
I am Goose.
We are the Wrestling Boys. We will see you next week.
Pardon